With the new year coming soon, we've heard from lots of you about the status of Real ID and when you might need it to fly in the U.S.
You've asked, when can I get a new license? When do I have to get one? Will my enhanced driver's license work the same? All good questions. Heather Brown helps break it down.
Almost everyone who has emailed us about this topic has used the same word, confused. So we went to the state's expert, Representative Dennis Smith, who recently wrote the state law on Real ID. What do people need to know?
Right now, you don't need to do anything.
That answers Mary Lee from Grand Rapids. She asked, do I need a new license in 2018 to fly in the U.S.?
Once the state is able to produce Real IDs, then they need to get a Real ID between October of 2018 and October of 2020.
Okay, let's explain these dates. We'll start with October 2020. That's when you'll need a Real ID driver's license, an enhanced ID driver's license, or a passport to get on a plane in the U.S. Until then, more than 2.5 years from now, your regular driver's license will be fine. Now to the second date, October of next year. That's when the state is required by law to start producing Real IDs. At that time, you should be able to walk into any of Minnesota's 175 DMV offices and apply for your Real ID. What kind of documentation do you need to bring in for the Real ID?
There's about a dozen different types of documents that you can bring. Some examples, and the most common will be your Social Security card, your original birth certificate, and then another form of ID, such as the license that you have today.
And you have to bring all three of those.
You have to bring all three, yes.
Now to the questions from people who have the enhanced ID. You know, the one that's already available, costs extra, and lets you cross into Canada and Mexico. Well, Tracy from Minneapolis and Jennifer from St. Paul asked, what happens to the enhanced ID once Real ID starts? Well, remember, Real ID goes into effect in 2020, and you will be able to use your enhanced driver's license to get on a plane at that time. You'll also still be able to use it to cross into Canada and Mexico, but what you won't be able to use the enhanced ID is to get into federal buildings or military bases. Only the Real ID will work for that. Heather Brown, WCCO 4 News.
And if you have a good question for Heather, please email it by going to WCCO.com/links.